Coach Burt, would you please start us off?
I'd like to say a big thank you, and I'm incredibly proud of our seniors and our whole entire team. Today, we played with great energy and fight and spirit and grit. And we've talked about spirit and grit in our locker room for a long time this year. And this senior class, Amaya Hamilton, Ayanna Townsend, Precious Johnson, and Lauren Wasselson, have really reestablished us as one of the better programs in the Atlantic 10 where we had been, and they did that. And I'm not sad today by any stretch. We lost to a very well-coached, very good basketball team, and we were playing our third game in 3 days. We ran out a little bit of gas, and then Richmond did some things that affected us, and they're a very good team, and kudos to them. And I just want to say that I'm incredibly proud of our entire program, not just the senior class, but all of our players, our staff, and our student managers. I think people saw our male practice players that drove down with their Viking helmets. We're not a team, we're a program.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, we will take questions for the student athletes.
Ladies, Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. They obviously saw how successful you were from the three-point line. Just how much of an emphasis was it to pack the paint, and just how huge was that early on?
I think we did our job to an extent in that way. I think we were leading them points in the game, so that's where we were at the end of the game. Obviously, we needed to score, so from the three was kind of like what we had to get our points from.
Obviously, emotions are at a high for the both of you. You both have decided to, whenever this season ends, if it's today, if it's beyond with postseason, that this will be your last opportunity with the ball. Could you describe how special this group in particular has been on your journey?
I think they always say that we're good basketball players, but we're even better people. Yeah, you guys are pretty cool. I've made some good friends, genuine friendships that I feel like basketball or not, like we're gonna stay together.
Yeah, I feel like on this team, everybody's actually like truly rooting for each other, truly genuine people. I think it shows like with our bench, like we had 8 people play more than 10 minutes, and like the rest of the bench, like they have so much energy, so much passion, and that's what's gotten us to this point. And we really appreciate that. Like everyone's out to like get each other's minutes, but everyone's also like really, really, truly rooting for the team and for each other, and that's on and off the court, and that's really special, I feel like, about Duquesne.
Now to covering with the next, can you both just talk about either a moment you're most proud of or where you've seen the most growth this season for the team?
I think a lot of our success this year was like partially because of how old we are and how much we're just like a veteran group. We have 2 6th years, like 2 5th years, and 3 4th years or something like that. And I think that our ability to stay calm and collected, like for example with the Georgia Mason game yesterday, like Georgia Mason had multiple chances to win that game, and we continued to get stops and continued to stay calm, and I think that really helped us. And in the past few years, we probably wouldn't have done that, so I think that's where we really grew.
I think also like us being connected kind of off the court helps us with the on-court stuff. I mean, for example, like me and PJ, I know PJ can do something better than me. Like I want her to go up there and do it, or if I'm just struggling a game, like I want her. Seeing her honestly gives me confidence when I go back in. So it's like I think we've gone past the point of like it's us against us, and it's like it's us collectively against other people.
Amaya, we've talked about the standard of this team. It's not just the 20 wins this season and that expectation. It's also playing in a D3 gym while you're waiting for this new arena that got built as the Cooper Fieldhouse. Just what do you think the legacy, you in particular being here this whole time, is, and what do you hope that it will be for this future program?
Yeah, I think just Duquesne being a family has always just been a very big part of this program. We have people from all across the world, and when you come to Duquesne, you're joining a second family, and I feel like that really showed throughout my time here, because like my freshman year, for example, like you said, we didn't have a gym, like, and then we went into COVID, and the second year we had COVID, and I mean, we couldn't even stay away from each other, we gave each other all COVID and stuff at one point. Like, we are a family, and like, I think that that's, no matter where you put us and what situation you put us in, we really stuck together, and I think that that's what I would want everyone to feel like in the years coming up, that we just are all working together towards a common goal, and we all want the best for each other, like in the classroom and on the court.
Thank you, ladies. Maybe this.
Well, one, I think it ain't the end of the road, it may be the end of the NCAA path, and, you know, I mean, there's a little war going on between those two other tournaments at the moment, but did you apply for both?
Yes, we have, and the expectation is that we'll be in the NIT, we'll be in the postseason. We really believe that, and I have 100% confidence that that's going to happen, and I conveyed that to our players in the locker room. You know, I don't think our season is over by any stretch. I don't believe that our season is over.
And another thing, just on perception, you know, like mid-season when records started to grow, you know, you saw 4 or 5 teams, and you know, Rhode Island technically at that point is 6, which we spoke about, and then suddenly ESPN came along and said 4 o'clock 2. What do you think of that point? Because that's now putting this in a bigger spotlight than it's been for the championship game.
You know, I can only speak to us and our journey this year. And at one point, we were right around 500, playing in an empty gym in New Orleans, and we lost to a team that was 0-10. And thank God we had Christmas break at that point, because then the kids were able to go home and kind of wash that off and shower that off for 4 or 5 days. And then, you know, we came back for conference play and won at Dayton. And then, you know, Mason played an unbelievable game against us. And since then, we've won 13 of 16 games. And so these women and our coaching staff have done an incredible job. We've really enjoyed this. I mean, it's been a hang loose kind of aloha kind of year. Happy Warriors is kind of our mantra, besides burn the ships. All year long, we've talked about being happy Warriors. And I wouldn't want to have, this is probably my most enjoyable year that in my coaching career. You know, we won 28 games there, went to the second round of the NCAA tournament in 2016. That was fantastic. We've had a lot of 20-win seasons. This has been an incredibly joyful, enjoyable ride. And I'm looking forward to playing here later in March.
Dan, Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. As you mentioned in your opening statement about the tiredness, the tired legs, just what ways are you motivating them to find that adrenaline and to find that next play, especially in that fourth quarter?
Well, we ate well last night, and I sent them home with the 2 bottles of water and 2 bananas, and talked to them, let's not get cramped up. We have a massage therapist that travels with us to the A10 tournament, and we have an excellent trainer, and they had us as prepared as we could be. Richmond plays a physical style, and you know, we just simply, you have to stay closer than 10 or 12. And, you know, we had a sequence there where it was 5 and we misidentified where the shooter was. And, you know, if they missed that shot and we go down and get another bucket, then it's a 3-point game late in the second quarter. That didn't happen, but it could have. And if you find another shot of adrenaline at that point. You know, we tried to find another shot of adrenaline when we went to pressing and some of the other things we did in the third and fourth quarter. The gas tank was funny. You know, I mean, it's going to happen. It's a human behavior. And then when things happen like that, where you know a team has played 3 games in 3 days, and all of a sudden they're finding another adrenaline shot to get a win, a lot of times it's because the other team's not playing well. A Well, Richmond played well, and they're really good, and they're really well coached. So like we would almost have to play perfect today to get a win, and that didn't happen.
Daniel Frank from E10 Talk. Coach, I'm curious, what about Addie Budnick in particular makes her so difficult to game plan and defend against? She had a lot of success from the perimeter, but I'm curious what about her is so challenging to defend.
I like that kid a lot. I've had conversations off the floor with her. Just a really good human being. You know, they all shoot the three well. It's kind of pick your poison. And the poison was, okay, we're going to see if you can make some threes, and we'll see if we can get to you and run you off the line. She made shots, and you know we were hopefully going to contest those a little bit more. That wasn't, we weren't perfect there, but you know, she made shots. Big time players make big time shots. She did that.
Natalie Heverin with the next. Similar to what I asked the players, is there any one moment you're most proud of, or where have you seen growth from the team this season?
Well, I think I mentioned it. You know, we were in New Orleans, coming off a loss at Vermont, flying down to New Orleans, and played another poor game against a Maine team. And then we played Arkansas Little Rock, who at the time was 0-10. And I don't feel like I coached a good game. I don't think we played a good game. And that was kind of a tipping point. And the best part of it was that tipping point was allowing our players to go home and kind of shower it off. And a lot of times coaches would worry about that. What are you going to have when you come back because of the character of what your team may be? And I knew that the character of our team was incredibly high. And we just needed to have some adjustments from an offensive and defensive schematic standpoint, but also from a combination standpoint. Up until that point, I was playing 11 players, and results were not coming. So I had to choose results over feelings and shorten the rotation down to 8. And you know, then we went on our run where we won 13 out of 16. So that's a big point right there. Obviously, you always love winning the city game early in the year. You know, our win over Richmond earlier this year at our place. The game yesterday against George Mason. It's been a year that's just been a lot of fun with great human beings. And I've loved it. You know, if this is it for me at Duquesne, I've gone out in style. I loved it.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Burt.